soon too.
Dad, it's recording. Oh,
Okay.
okay.
Okay, I'm standing here with Miss Ann Pennebaker.
That's right, Pennebaker.
And she is a professional counselor, and she's also a great community civic leader. How you doing, Doctor?
I'm doing great.
And what we wanted to do today is we wanted to try to figure out this mystery. We keep getting this package in the mail, and you know, there's a lot of details within this package that, well, I'll let them talk about it. Like, for example, this picture frame, I don't know, but this looks familiar, like I've seen it before. And a couple weird things, like you'll see a Canadian stamp and so forth.
Wow.
I'll let my children talk to you more about this, but I remember you helped out with that case in 1976,
Yes.
the Michael Myers case, and it'd be very helpful if you could help us.
Bring me up to speed.
There's a really old letter on pieces of plate.
Okay. Wow.
Another letter.
Okay.
And there's a note.
All
And here's the package that came in.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh.
So they've received 2 packages so far, and the third one is in the mail already. It's already on its way.
Okay, and this frame was with it, huh?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. The frame that says heirloom on it. Okay.
Girls,
So
have a
things
seat.
are being preserved for future generations. Have a seat, girls. For artifacts from over a century ago, once again invaded, we're no longer able to keep them safe. As the tree spreads its seeds as far as it can, in the hopes that one will fall program receiving these precious parcels, farmland in the hopes that at least some will be preserved for future generations. We're using an intermediary so that they cannot be traced from us to you, as we would not wish the danger we face to be passed on. This will delay the final delivery for a short while, but we believe it's for the best. Keep this safe. Hold in your hands a piece of history. It will be your task to show it to the future. You have our thanks. Okay. All right. Wow. Interesting, just some things before we start that I noticed is, what do you put in a picture frame? You generally put in a picture frame things you want to remember. I mean, I have pictures of my children, like my descendants, kind of.
Yeah.
So that makes me think it's got something to do with future generations, that kind of thing. And the handwriting on here is interesting to me. Do you all know much about analyzing handwriting? Is all of it look pretty much the same?
Yeah.
Okay, this is a very careful person, and probably a person who has a pretty good opinion of themselves, because you can tell that by, I don't know, they are very confident. The letters, the larger letters are fairly tall in proportion to the others. If we get somebody who's really sick psychologically, they'll write their name and they'll write great big letters kind of stuff. And therapists say they have delusions of grandeur, so they think they're better or smarter than they are. But this is not at that level. This is more, and it's cautious, but it's confident, is I guess what I'd say about that. So, okay, I'm talking too much. Y'all ask me questions.
Do you want to do the first one? Which one's the first one? What kind of person would write this stuff?
Well, is it coming through, is it just in the mail? Do you get information on the computer? What kind of stuff?
Dad did call the person a couple of times, and
I called them.
it was mostly just
But they hung up straight away.
But it was an answer machine message, and it was like a list of riddles.
Okay.
And it just kept going and going. It's
So I
weird.
think we can say it's probably a bright person, a person who's fairly bright and fairly well organized, because this is not hurried. This is organized the way this looks. I don't know the word, kind of impish. Do y'all know that word, what that means? It's kind of like mischievous but not evil. That kind of thing. In Irish culture, and I'm Irish, we have something called a puka. Do you know about the puka?
We're German Irish, but we don't know a lot about the Irish
Okay.
background.
Sometimes they say that a rabbit will just appear to children sometimes. And this rabbit is not mean or a threat, but he's kind of a imp, you know. And I did not know this until I was an adult, but I know that my daughter, when she was about 7 years old, she came running out of her bedroom and she said, "There's a rabbit in my room, a rabbit in my room." And I did not know until 25 years later when somebody, well, actually when she got married, she told her husband about that, and he said, "That's a puka." And it's Pooka, and you look it up on the computer, and it talks about how that figure appears to Irish children. And if you've ever seen the movie Harvey the Rabbit with Jimmy Stewart, it's a classic movie. It's based on a puka.
Okay.
So somehow this has a little bit of a feel like that to me, that maybe this person is kind of enjoying the fact that y'all are kind of confused and trying to figure it out. Like they're kind of sitting back and saying, now what you gonna do? Kind of like they're a little bit greedy with their feelings about the troubles they're putting you through or something. Did I answer your question? I talked a lot.
Yeah.
Okay. What else?
What is the king meal?
What is what?
The king meal.
I don't know. What do you think?
Dad looked up on the computer and it was like a offer.
It's the name of a book.
Okay.
Um,
And we're assuming Mabel because it says king.
yeah.
It could be a she though. That's a good point.
Alright, do you want to ask the question again?
I did.
Yeah, do you know that question?
You ask it.
Is he a prankster or is he real?
I think he's real, but I think he's also a prankster. You know, because I mean, just like I'm saying, as I thought about this whole thing, there was just the word imp, and that may be a word you want to look up and kind of add to your list of words that you know. But an imp just causes kind of trouble and laughs at people's struggle about it, but he's really not going to hurt you. Kind of. So
When you say package, what do you see?
this, well, the main thing that I saw initially was the handwriting kinds of things. Okay, first class mail. And now there's nothing in here now, is there, except we're taking it out? So these are the things that were in there. Okay, so what I see is what we said about the handwriting. If this is a person who feels okay about themselves, but they are not psychologically off. They're not evil. They're not a murderer or anything like that. They just kind of are pulling your chain. You know what I'm saying? Okay? But the frame definitely says something to me about ancestry and descendants, and the fact that we put in picture frames things for future generations. You know, so it's got something to do with future generations, and I don't know what, but I think that's where a lot of the answer is going to be. Like, what message are you supposed to be getting from this that you can be sending on? What do y'all think about it a whole lot? What do you think?
I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's just,
I think Adriana got a boyfriend or something,
No, I don't.
sending you all these pictures.
she's never been to Canada.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. It's from Canada. I wonder why that is.
Well, I don't know. What area of Canada do we know?
Yeah, it said Toronto on it.
Okay, Canada's an interesting place. You know, I'm from Louisiana, and in Louisiana we have Acadian people, and they left Louisiana and were moved into Canada. So there's some, when you get older, you'll read a story, probably Longfellow's Evangeline, about two people that were in love that were separated during the Canadian migration. So I don't really know what areas of Canada they're in, but Canada has kind of an unusual background because they're tied to the British. They're close to us. They have that French connection and all that stuff. So Canada's a pretty diverse place, and it may be coming from Canada to fool you, because if it was coming from Germany, you'd pretty much know what to expect. Or from Ireland, you'd know what to expect. But this has got some mixed culture in it. I think that's part of the impishness about it.
Another question is, why is he or she mailing us stuff?
Evidently, they mailed a lot of people stuff. Okay, Didn't they say that in the letter, that they're sending out a lot of these? Did it say that? I think it does. I may be wrong, I may have misread that, but let's see.
I know you've gotten 2, you're about to get a 3rd pack, so
Yes.
I know they're definitely mailing multiple packages to you. I don't know about
We're
other
sending
people.
these precious parcels far and wide
Okay,
in the hopes that at least some will be preserved for future generations.
far and wide, there you go.
Okay, so what can they know about y'all? I mean, what's out there, like on the internet about you? Where do you go to school?
Moses.
Okay, are you in any kind of special classes or anything?
No.
Okay, any kind of special hobbies or?
You guys made honors, is there anything to do with that, maybe?
That's what it's got to do with them. Because they know you're bright and they think that you'll figure it out.
I think it might be like one of our family members, that's how it knows when it's in.
Could be.
Because someone,
Well, Adriana not to interrupt, but tell Miss Ann what they asked, one of our family members, what they ask?
They asked who's my youngest descendant.
whose dad's youngest descendant, which would be,
And now we started
like you
getting
said, the
packages.
picture frame,
Yeah.
so.
Now it's starting to frame together, so to speak.
So maybe it's something in your dad's history, if they're wanting to know about his descendants. So you gotta look back to figure out the future. If you wanna figure out what's gonna be happening, you always have to look back. That's what I have to do every time I run one of these groups that I run, or talk to people in psychology, try to figure out what's wrong with them. I gotta look back to what they experienced, so I understand what's happening now. So you may wanna, instead of trying to anticipate everything's gonna happen, start looking backwards and seeing what connections are there. Something is connected to him if they wanted to know who his youngest descendant is. See?
I don't have any more questions on, do you have any more?
So I have some. How are y'all feeling about doing this? I mean, is it fun or exciting or scary or what?
Kind of scary.
Are you scared? Is it scary?
I think it's enjoyable.
Yeah, I don't think you have to be scared about it. I don't see any threats in this person, at all. I think that they're chatting about. I think they're enjoying the fact that you're trying to figure it out. It's making you think. That's not my person. That's his person upstairs. Okay. Please keep this safe. Hold in your hands a piece of history, and it will be your task to show it to the future. That's what I just said. You got to look back, figure out the present. This is great.
So girls, what did we learn today? What were the key things you took out of this conversation? When you're talking here to Miss Ann, she said impish. I heard impish, that's a key word. Descendant,
Probably one of our descendants.
maybe. Descendant, impish. Who do we think the king in yellow is?
Careful person and organized.
Careful
Maybe
and
a little bit
organized.
greedy too. So they're taking up a good bit of your time
Yeah.
thinking about this.
Selfish, greedy, trying
Yeah.
to play with you, jerk your
But they're
chain.
smart. Whoever's doing this is smart. I think one thing I really want you to hear is I don't think you need to feel any threats about it. I think this is, I don't think this is somebody that's gonna snatch you off the street corner or anything like that. I think that it's somebody's trying to make you think and make you figure things out. It seems safe, but they're having fun with you. Can you tell when somebody's kinda, yeah, that's what I think. And remember what I said about the handwriting, about how careful, this person is careful about what they're saying, and they feel pretty good about themselves, but they're not grandiose, they're not out of line, they're within the normal range. But, interesting.
Adriana, do you have anything else to
No.
add? Larissa? Miss Ann?
I do, when y'all get this figured out, come back and see me, it's,
She gave you enough clues to go running with it, right? Gather evidence, and Anna wanted to go to the police, and we're like, well, no, we want to solve mystery, and she goes, but that's how every horror movie starts. So we had to laugh, but it's
look
good to know
back
it's not
figure out what's
threatening.
happening now.
Yep. So we gotta look
When I
back.
first got the letter, it was creepy.
Yeah, but we gotta look at our